Braves drop game 2 of this 5-game set versus the Marlins, being out hit 9-2 in a 5-1. Tough one tonight, guys. Unfortunately for the Bravos, there was one swing from Jurickson Profar, and that was about the end of it. When you get 2 hits, there's not going to be a lot to mention, but tough one for Bryce Elder tonight as well. I thought Edward Cabrera, easy for me to say, was absolutely incredible. First time he's gone over 100 pitches this year. Really good effort by him.
You got to give credit where credit's due, right? Tonight
Sometimes.
comes down to pitching.
Sometimes.
So
No, you're right.
we got to credit the Marlins. They've been playing some good baseball lately, and the Braves haven't. And so, you know, unfortunately just came up short. And as you said, not a whole lot to talk about. That's unfortunate. I'd love to see. The Braves are better than what they're playing.
Yep.
They're better than 2 hits. And I don't mean that like they're not trying or anything like that, but they're better than that. And, you know, we've got to get ready to get them tomorrow.
Only Cabrera's out there, 8 innings, 11 strikeouts. He's throwing 98 and 94 mile-an-hour changeups.
That makes me sick.
That's a tough at bat.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not playing well, trying to get things going.
I agree.
Solo home run's not going to do it, and so yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see them not play well and lose games. And again, they are trying out there.
It's funny how that conversation is going to lead into most of our conversation for the night, where this guy's got a 94-mile-an-hour changeup. So things have changed around this game since the old guard played. Paul, you got a play of the game?
I do. Let's check out our play of the game tonight. Play of the game is brought to you by All 4 Seasons Garage Doors. Bottom 6, Jurickson Profar up at the plate. Check it out. 106 exit velo off the bat. We're going upper tank in the chop house. We're just below that. Gentlemen, that's a long, long way. 416 feet. Jurickson, not the biggest guy, but you throw it right down the middle. You unlock. There you go. All 4 Seasons Garage closing the door on our play of the game.
Charlie, what do you got?
I'm up.
Talk hitting. Let's go. You're not going to get to talk much this show, so give us what you got.
That's right.
I want to know.
What do you got?
What's the furthest baseball you've hit?
I tried to look it up earlier. I'm not really sure. I hit a pretty good one in D.C. against Sean Doolittle. Just ambushed a fastball. I think it was 441 feet.
Okay.
Went over the bullpen. I felt like I hit it 1,000 feet, but that's all I got. That's pretty good, though, right?
That's one of those
For a
ones that you
smaller
don't feel
guy?
it. You don't feel it up
Didn't
the
feel it.
barrel.
Didn't feel it.
Yes. I asked Adam
You
Duvall
know how that feels, right?
Oh, absolutely, I do. Trust me. I never did it at this level, but I've done it before, of course.
Yeah. Beer League Australia, 2001.
I hit 4 home runs in one game, but we'll get onto that later. Hey, if you missed tonight, you can catch all highlights from today's game tomorrow with Braves Fastball on your local Braves on Gray stations. Check your local listings for times. Well, unfortunately for the Braves, we've had a lot of injuries to the pitching staff. We are going to take a deep dive. Grant Holmes just went on the IL this week. We are going to take a very deep dive into the amount of injuries we're seeing in Major League Baseball and potential fixes, maybe. Paul Bird, you the doctor tonight again.
I'm ready.
Are you?
He's always ready.
Always.
Look at him.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Welcome back. We are back to the chop. I didn't mention that in the open, but I'm going to mention it right now. I'm lucky enough to be sitting down next to my two buds, Paul Bird, Charlie Culberson. We are going to get into a subject that's near and dear to my heart, probably near and dear to your heart.
It is.
The amount of injuries that we're seeing, not only with the Braves pitching staff, obviously that's been a major issue this year, but it's been a major issue across the league for a long, long time. And I'm not sure what the cause is. We've got some ideas, obviously. There's a few things that have changed around this game. We're going to dive into a lot of it. But Grant Holmes electing to rehab instead of maybe going to the knife. He went and saw a couple of people. That's obviously some interesting news. But when you look at the amount of injuries we've had with the Bravos, you just cannot replace the guys that have gone down. And it's something that needs to probably be talked about.
I have never seen a team, and I've been around the game a long time, first signed in 1991, I've never seen a team lose all 5 starters in the same season. And these guys are irreplaceable. And I don't mean anything for the guys who are coming up, but you cannot replace Cy Young Award winners and guys that, you know, have trained, played in the minors for 5 to 10 years, mastered the crafts. They come up and now they're on the DL. So that's irreplaceable. Ronald Acuna is irreplaceable. You know, there's just certain people that you can't replace. And so the question is why? Guys are throwing harder.
Yeah.
The game has just gone that way. Max effort on every pitch, and I think that has something to do with it. You don't use your Tommy John ligament until you start throwing over 82 miles an hour. So that just tells me the harder that you go up, the more you stress that ligament.
Well, and you also see that, sorry to butt in, but
Please.
They're very meticulous on like their weightlifting programs or throwing programs. Like everybody on this training staff, strength staff, everyone's on the same plan too. So for them, it's probably very frustrating to see these great talented ball players still get hurt, and they're doing everything that they can for them.
What was your personal experience?
I loved it. So just real quick, if you can zoom in, this is my Tommy John scar. This is these 2 bones right here, your funny bone, that's the nerve, ulnar nerve that runs in there. And right here where your thumb is, on the outside of that bone, that is your ligament. These are the inserts right here, the attachments, and the ligament runs along here, and it holds your elbow together. When you throw a baseball, something has to hold it together as you fire. And when you do that over and over and over again, and you're throwing in the mid-90s, and then you're pulling this out and breaking a torque, that's going to
Put stress on it.
A lot. You know, and you can train and get your forearms bigger, your biceps bigger, your triceps, which are all decelerators, your lats, also important, is your pec. But the deal is this doesn't get bigger.
No way.
Meaning you
can't strengthen that
you
either.
Can't, I mean, you can do your arm exercises and your squeezes, and you can make it a little, you know, it's going to be a little bit, but you can't turn this into a huge muscle along here to make it adequate. So, you know, that's something to consider.
How long did it take you to get back? I didn't mean to steal your baseball.
No, you're good.
I apologize.
I had Tommy John in 2003. I was Tommy John, 1974. In 2003 was number 2,330. James Andrews did that. Joe Chandler in the room. Shout out to Lloyd Van Pamelin, my therapist, who taught me so much. This is what's really, really cool. I don't want to take over this segment.
You already have, so keep going.
It's too late. So when you put a tendon in here, which I had the gracilis tendon taken out of my knee, when you put that in here, it takes 4 months for the gracilis tendon. You can also do the palmaris, the extensor, and the big toe. When you put that in here,
Write this stuff down.
when you put this in here, it takes 4 months for this tendon, which is weaker than a ligament, to become a ligament. And after that, you can throw. They told me that because after 2 months, you feel great.
Yeah.
You want to go out and start throwing right there. You're like, I'm ready. I'm back. And so Jose Rio with the Reds, who had an incredible slider, did that. And he went out and started throwing bullpens in front of the media at 2 months, and it blew out immediately.
Wow.
So they have to teach you that you have to wait. And then you start throwing wiffle balls, then tennis balls. You know the drill as much as anybody. And then finally you can pitch and get back in a game. Mine hurt. And I just said, it's healed. I got to get through it. But then at a year and a half, I was pain-free in my elbow for the rest of my career. The best thing I ever did.
I had 2. I had one in 2008. I was throwing in big league spring training games at 10 months. I was in a major league game at 11 months. That lasted me until 2014 when I had my second one. Second time, they take it much, much slower.
Yeah.
But I decided to break down my throwing program. I was working by myself. I got released by the Astros the end of spring training when I blew out. Rehabbed myself, got myself all the way back. Signed a player coach deal with the Braves. Was rehabbing in the morning.
Player coach.
And
Wow.
then I was teaching the kids in the morning as well, and then doing the games, sending in the charts, doing everything, and then finally got back to the big leagues. And my actually elbow feels as good as it's ever felt right now after 2 TJs. I never had any pain. I never had any setbacks. I never had anything that most guys have had to deal with, and I made it back from 2. It was
Where'd
crazy.
they take your graft from?
From both my hammies.
Okay.
That was actually harder to recover
Yeah.
from. I
That's
was
the
in the
gracilis,
outfield
yeah.
shagging, and I went down to pick up a ball in the outfield, and I felt my hamstring twing.
Yeah.
Or
Twing. Yeah, I like it. I like
Twang.
twang.
Twing.
Same.
Whatever it did, it didn't feel very good at all. And then I threw it in, and I walked straight back in the training room, and I spent about 2 weeks off the
Wha-
field.
But you got scars to show it. I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. But why so many now?
Oh, that's a great question that I'm sure they're going to tell me I don't have enough time to talk about right now, but we're going to get into it.
Okay,
For
good.
sure.
Good.
We're going to get into it. And there's so many things you can talk to. You can talk to the sticky stuff being taken away. You can talk to the increase in velo, the increase in spin rate, the analytics that everybody's looking for certain things, and that usually requires 100% of the time, all the time. But we're going to dive into much more of this when we get back right after these messages from your favorite Gray station. We are back to the chop. We'll be right back to chop it up. We are back to the chop. Braves drop game 2, 5-1 versus the Marlins. Get out hit 9-2. Edward Cabrera was absolutely outstanding, as was Paul Bird last segment, going personal on his Tommy John journey, I guess you'd call it. But we may have a problem in Major League Baseball with the rising injuries. I have it officially here.
We may.
We may.
Or we do.
We probably do. Elbow injuries are on the rise at Major League Baseball and minor league baseball. There has been, 2010 there was 104. In 2021 there was 314. Active pitchers with Tommy John is growing every single day. According to baseball analyst John Rogal, 38.7% of active Major League Baseball pitchers in 2024 have had Tommy John surgery, up from 26% in 2016, and it was much, much lower years before that. So Paul Bird, Charlie Culberson, probably going to throw myself in there a little bit let's
Yeah.
talk this out. What do you think is the number one reason for the amount of injuries we're seeing right now?
So number one reason for me is increased velocity. Throwing your fastball as hard as you can. Spin rate does have something to do with it, but if you throw a split finger, something that you pronate and lock out on, the two-seamer, a curveball that you pull hard down on where you get that bite here, those are the things that put a lot of stress on that. Even the forcing fastball with increased velocity.
What do you got on this? This is from 2008 to 2024, and the percentage fastball velocity 91.3 in 2008. That's when I first came up. So when you see a guy throwing 86 mile an hour with a fastball back then. Now you don't see that at all. 94 miles an hour in 2024. The thing that's interesting to me is the usage of these pitches as well. You go back to 2005, and the fastball was being thrown at 60 to 62% of the time. Could you imagine going up there and knowing you're going to get 60% fastballs?
I'd love it.
You'd love it. Now we fast forward to 2025, and we're looking at 48% fastballs. So everybody's throwing more breaking balls. Everybody's throwing more off speed. The split fingers come back. That's something and like you said, it's max effort all the time, 100% of the time. You take a look at the amount of innings guys are throwing. There's fewer 5+ innings in Major League Baseball than ever before. Relievers are having to come in more and more. It's just there's so many factors that go into it. I think the biggest frustration for me is it's been led by the teams. Teams will let players know what they want their players to be doing in order to sign, and players will adjust based on that. So unless there's something that comes from Major League Baseball, I don't know if there's much that they can do to stop what is happening right now.
Well, you're right. The teams are statistic driven, right?
Correct.
They told me when I started pitching, it's like they want your slider to be at least 85 miles an hour with certain depth. They want your fastball to be a certain mile per hour, because as a hitter, if a slider is harder, it's harder to hit, right? If it's slower, then it's a little loopier, or it's just too slow that guys can recognize and adjust to those pitches. So they want things harder. But my thing, too, is with this pitch clock now, what do you got on that?
It's a great question.
Guys are throwing harder. They're not throwing as many fastballs. Sliders and curveballs typically have more spins, and it's a different, pronation extension on your elbow. So max effort, and then within 15 to 20 seconds, you have to throw another max effort, and then another max effort. There was guys that took, 30 seconds in between pitches. Like I played with guys, Troy Tulowitzki, Corey Dickerson, as hitters. They timed them. They were like 30 to 32 seconds in between pitches. So that's giving the pitcher more time to recover. Is that something too?
Absolutely. I went back and looked, because you can look that up now. I went back and looked at how much time I took in between pitches last couple of years of my career, and I was up around 19, 20 seconds with the bases empty. So I would have had to have completely changed my routine. There's a lot of guys that have come up used to it now. There's so many young guys in the league, so they've got it in the minor leagues. They're getting used to it by the time they get here. But for the veteran guys that had to snap and make that adjustment, take away the sticky stuff, add 15 seconds in between pitches, we're talking about a multiple of factors that can lead to these guys having to blow out.
We got quicker games,
Great. I mean, I love that in the position I'm in right now.
Yeah, I mean, but quicker games, but more guys getting hurt. I mean, it's got to be a factor. It's got to be a factor.
I feel like he's about to go on a run.
Come on.
Do you feel
I
it?
cannot. No, I'm
You
trying
grabbed
to,
the baseball.
Trying not to sing. Trying hard not to.
Birdie, you're
This is the
here.
Major League
There it
Baseball
is.
right here, and the seams have gone down. They've lowered the seams. Meredith Wills, who is an astrophysicist, did studies on the baseball, and Major League Baseball, who owns Rawlings, had to come clean with that, and it was lowered down. So the Spider Tech helped you grip that and get that good torque that you were talking about. If you take away the Spider Tech and then you lower the baseballs, and now somebody's got to make that kind of depth so they can get called up to the big leagues, of course, it's a perfect storm for a sore elbow. And it's a perfect storm for not being able to throw 100-plus pitches every time out. I think everything has a little part to play in it,
I
just
agree,
like the
100%.
pitch clock. So I agree with you on that.
Okay. You both going to be dealing with the youth baseball side of things moving forward, especially you. My question is, if you were commissioner today,
Come on.
what, if anything, would you try to change? Would you try to... They've done such a good job with the implementation of the rules that they have done, increasing the base sizes, all that sort of stuff. I felt like it's make the game better. The one thing that's missing is the fact that we can't keep guys on the field. How would you try to change that, especially from a pitching standpoint?
I mean, back in the day, starting pitchers wanted to keep the ball the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I can't really think of one specific thing, but there wasn't as many injuries, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because that starter had the ball. Even Max Scherzer was quoted saying that, like, hey, if the closer is better than me in the ninth than I am as a starter in the ninth, it's tough to give the ball up.
Right.
But that's a pitcher of a potential. He's going to be a Hall of Famer saying that, going through 8 innings. But, they're down to just over 5 innings per start. So I don't know.
Okay, real quick. What if they tie the DH? There's been rumors of tying the DH to the starter going further into the game. Is that just
That's
complicating
interesting.
things
That would
too
not
much?
be my plan, but that's interesting.
Okay.
Do you want my plan?
I'd
What's
love
your
it.
plan?
You've got
You
how
got-
long's he
You
got?
got to wait to another block because I think we're.
You've got 10 seconds. Ready, Birdie?
No, he can't do it. He
Two.
can't do it. You
Okay,
gotta
we're
wait.
going to have to come back. We're going to have a little bit of what Polbo's got his mind on. We are back to the chop. Come right back with us. Braves unfortunately dropped game 2, 5-1 versus the Marlins. They've still got 3 more chances to try to take this series, and we've got 1 more chance to hear what Paul Bird is going to do to fix all the injury problems we have in Major League Baseball. Ready, Paul? I'm
One
ready to
shot.
roll.
All
Yeah,
right,
let's go.
Back to Grant Holmes. Grant Holmes, it's his decision. It's
Okay.
his career. Greg Maddux had a tear right here in this part of his ligament, and he had a bone spur that grew over that, so he couldn't throw bullpens, and he would just throw 10 pitches on the wall before the start. It was unbelievable.
Is that what Grant Holmes should do?
What what did Greg Maddux do so well? Well, he could throw the ball inside with the best of them. So if Charlie, here's a right-hander, and this is the inside part of the plate, this is the plate right here.
Ooh.
If you throw a ball in the middle 90 miles an hour, the effective velocity is 90.
Right.
If you go over here, it's 84. If you throw a ball on the inside part of the plate, the effective velocity is 96. Why wouldn't I throw harder, take it easy on my arm? But I don't see pitchers today that can command up and in well.
Or command
and
at all.
make hitters. So if it's not going to start with Rob Manfred, it's start with an organization saying, we are going to teach you how to pitch, how to throw with 95% effort and hit your spot, and you're going to be just effective, and you're going to have a longer career. You're going to pitch longer in the game, which is then going to save the bullpen guys. That's my plan.
So rather have pitchers than throwers?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. It makes absolutely perfect sense.
This show wasn't long enough.
Nope. Well, they said that we can go an hour next time if you want to. Next show is Braves on Gray, September 5th versus the Seattle Mariners. They've had themselves a pretty good season so far. Please come back. We've got so much more of this, including a swimming koi fish. We are fired up to be here. You guys should be too. We'll see you next time.